Hello, friends. It's the end of week 3 of Camp NaNoWriMo, so let's chat. Well, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a terrible week. The first day and a half were great. I was still out at the chalet, super beautiful, relaxing, and all of that. We had the best weather for the trip, which was a total toss-up just because of how it's been here in Montreal. It's been really up and down. I think it's like this a lot of places right now. Rain predictions were wrong every time. Like we'd think we were getting rain and it wouldn't come, and then we wouldn't think we were getting it and it would be a like nightmare storm. So then I get back and it's hot. I get back and the very next day we start getting cats and birds. My mom and I run a cat and small animal boarding business, which you might hear birds in the background. It's the first time we've had the small animal aspect of this, and it's 2 conures. They're very cute, but they're very, very noisy. So we usually have one household at a time, but there were some emergencies with regulars of ours, so we have a couple on the go at the moment. We've got, 2 cats in one area and one cat blocked off in another area. Luckily, our apartment is of a good size to do that, but it's been bad for airflow with the air conditioner, so that's been an experience. And right in the midst of this, massive heat wave gearing up, cats, birds, we get a call from my cousin and find out that my uncle passed away. And I won't get into it too much for, privacy's sake, but it was just very unexpected. And I don't think any of us have properly gotten our heads around it yet. I know that I haven't. And I just have this profound sense of frustration and being left just like, and this, this is as a death positive person. If you don't know all of that, I won't get into it, but you can look it up. I try to learn about this stuff a lot because death is something I focus on a lot. So I try to come to terms with it on a regular basis. But, my uncle was kind of difficult to break through. My mom and her siblings and their kids were all really close. Except this uncle and his sons were in a different city. They moved away, but we were still pretty close. They talked every day, and I know not everyone is close with their cousins, so I usually have to explain this, but we grew up like siblings, and when we saw these distant cousins, even them, they were like siblings too, even though we didn't see them all the time. But this uncle of mine, he was, I don't want to go too into this just because they are a private family, but on my end, He was very overworked. He lived in another city, and he was this brilliant, creative architect who you would see these funny, vibrant sides of sometimes when I visited. But as I got older, he was very closed off. And since he'd retired, I had been hoping I'd get a chance to connect with him as an adult, and even thought that was going to happen at a reunion next month if I was able to go. And now it's just not going to happen, and that sucks. But I digress. Strangely, I had a loss I was dealing with during November NaNoWriMo, and I think it was around the same point in the month. During that month, I was able to really pour myself into my writing, and it helped, but with this one, I just haven't been able to. When I face loss, I either go into full create-only mode or I go into support mode. I'm not someone who falls apart a lot or right away. It comes in little bits. I'm not a crier. I'm a sympathetic crier. If someone is talking to me and they start crying, then I'm gonna start crying. But it's not gonna happen on my own. I'm gonna freeze up. There's people talk about fight and flight, and then there's another one, and I think it's freeze. It might not be freeze, but it's something like that. And that's me. I freeze, and then I go into work or support, or if I can get things done. If I can, in a crisis, I'm not going to be the shoulder because I'm not good at providing the right words, but I'm gonna be the one who's gonna get all the shit done for you that you can't do. So I've been doing that as much as I can with my mom, because this is her older brother who she lost, and she and I are living together right now. But add on to this the heat wave, which I have a sensitivity to heat and the sun, and it's not a good recipe. Add to this, I am looking for work right now and an apartment. The apartment part is more fun and exciting because it's for my partner and I, but you know, it's been a week. So where does the writing come in? Well, it didn't. The last time I wrote was July 15th, when I got those 1,066 words I mentioned in the last video. So week 3 has been total wash, but you know what? That's okay. I think as important as it is to make writing a priority and get those daily words in, you also have to really be aware of your own mental health. As a workaholic who pushes myself every day, I determined that this was just not the time for that. Not that I wasn't working, I was, but on things that came a bit more easily. Like I find that applying for jobs is very much just like step by step, right? Not overthinking like creatively and stuff. And for creative stuff, I was focusing on big picture things like larger plans, focusing on things that just had a little bit more instant gratification, because I really needed that this week. I needed to be able to set a task and finish it. So I guess rather than this being a writing check-in, it's more of a note about mental health and writers. I know that it's really big in the writing community and with me to do a lot of cheering and pushing. Like on my Twitter, I try to check in with people every day to be like, how much writing did you get done? Are you writing? Tell the truth. What's going on? Where are you at? And I'm a really big believer of pouring oneself into work. But, you know, if it's not feeling right, don't do it. I've said it before that writing should make you happy. Sure, most writers are miserable, but there's a reason we're driven to write, you know? Because it gives us that bright light in the darkness from time to time, and that is worth more than anything else in the whole world. If your writing isn't giving you a bright light, find something else that does, and then come back to your writing. It will always be there. You can't escape it that easily, trust me. So on that note, I am going to sign off for the day and maybe go write. For sprints, I was a no-show on Wednesday and Thursday, but I was doing that in the hopes that I could manage Saturday on YouTube. So for now, I'm gonna say Saturday 1 to 3 Eastern, right here on YouTube. But if something comes up, if I can't make it, please watch my social media accounts, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If something comes up, if I can't make it, I will post there. That's where you're going to find out. Also on my Discord server. So all the links for that you can find down below. Do remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment if you feel like it. And of course, I hope that you are having a day that is just as wonderful as you are. Bye.